guys, it's Sam here, and for this last part of the health project, I'm thinking I was gonna do some sort of like a video diary-ish thing on talking about what it's personally like for me to live with ASD, or Autism Spectrum Disorder, as the proper name is. One of the bigger downsides of this for me is I have quite a bit of social anxiety. Like, even there are classmates who I've known for like years who I still don't know if they see me as the weird kid or just a normal kid, or, you know. And then when it comes to really anything that makes me anxious, there are a couple things that I do that kind of help with it. Like using different kinds of Rubik's Cubes, like this one. I just learned how to do it over break. Hand fidgeting, like tapping finger, and foot tapping is another thing where I just kind of like tap my foot on the ground repeatedly. I have a habit of shaking the dinner table whenever we're there, because like every time, like a lot of times we'll have dinner and I'm just tapping away and they're just like. Another part of my autism is the fact that I also have ADHD, or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, to use the scientific term, which pretty much means I have a lot of energy that I usually need to use in like sports and any other like physical activities, but when it's like winter, yeah, can't really do that very well. And in that case, I kind of start to lose my ability to concentrate. Another thing that I have is sensory integration dysfunction, which actually impacts me in a couple different ways. Like, I prefer like big hugs, and I have like a weighted blanket in my room that I use. Another thing that also impacts is sometimes it makes me like a little bit more overwhelmed than normal. Like certain stuff, like the cafeteria, for example, is like ungodly loud sometimes. So I always, like, when it's not really loud, or sometimes when I just feel like it, I will go to the library after I eat and just hang there for the rest of the period. Pretty much any type of like over-the-top emotion, whether it's like happy, sad, angry, you know, which I think is part of the reason why I kind of talk in a monotone voice, if you didn't know already. Another thing that kind of makes me uncomfortable is also making eye contact. So if you see me, like if you're talking to me and I'm like looking over there, I'm not trying to ignore you, that's just how it is for me. Even something like my hyperactivity can actually have upsides. Like, I do a lot of parkour, which you can check out on my YouTube channel. Even my hyperactivity actually has some upsides to it. Like, for one, I do a lot of like parkour and stuff like that. Like I compete in these. If you've ever heard of the TV show American Ninja Warrior, I'm kind of a little bit of a fan of that. So there's like these competitions that I go to, and like a bunch of different Ninja Warrior gyms across the Northeast where I compete against other like 13 to 18-year-olds, and I even actually made it to finals last year, so I got that. Another good thing that my autism lets me do is quote-unquote hyper-focusing on certain things, like historical facts, or like I remember when I was younger, I used to, like whenever we would get Chinese food, we would always open up the fortune cookie and I would like memorize the lucky numbers on the fortunes. And it got to a point where even after like 2 months after we got it, I was still able to say what the lucky numbers were. And apparently when I don't really remember this, but apparently when I was younger, I also used to know a whole lot of football stats. I don't really follow that stuff as much. I'm like 98% certain that I have perfect pitch. So, I kind of get annoyed when people, especially myself, are singing off pitch, which is part of the reason why I don't like to hear myself sing, but everyone might just be uncomfortable with that. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully that'll help you understand me and autism a little bit more. I guess that's it. maybe we might want to start over. That fast count messed me up. Wait. Sorry. Like, another thing that off camera. Keep that in. But and another thing that kind of reflects on the hyper-focusing thing is, our dog is being very noisy right now.